This was honestly revolting. To be honest, that's pretty much all I can describe it. I mean, um, it, it pretended to have a plot, but mainly it was there to be graphic, pretty much. That's it, really. I mean, it's quite weird how it seemed to simulate, supposedly simulate gladiatorial combat when even Gladiator from 2 decades ago, as far as I know, unless I'm forgetting something, did not have such. I mean, it did have gladiatorial combat, but not to such a violent extent. I'm pretty sure. Everything here seemed to be an excuse, really, to be as graphic as possible. I mean, didn't really see much of the point, and the story wasn't very interesting enough for that. I don't know, to be honest, though, it would be interesting to such an extent. They took it too far, and just, at the end, when it comes to the story, at the end, it became somewhat interesting, but very momentarily, which obviously isn't quite what a movie should aim to be, really, just momentarily interesting. In terms of what it was supposed to be doing, it reminded me of Nerve, which also sets online and such, and a lot of peer pressure and such involved. But I remember it was much more of a thriller. I mean, this was supposed to be just some mindless um, violence, and that is what it was. But so as a thriller, though, Nerve was more effective in a sense, as opposed to this rather was trying to affect the rate. I'm not sure it was much. It really, yeah, it didn't, and it was just mindless and repetitive, and it makes no sense. Like at the beginning, the protagonist, wanted to, you know, just destroy the person who lured him there, and then suddenly it's all fine. They even love each other. Like, what, really? I don't know. And I mean, it was clearly made to make everyone, a caricature, pretty much, as extreme as possible, So, all the viewers, I'm not sure how many actual viewers would do something similarly, but, the viewers in the movie itself were just such an extremity, you know? Like, yeah, there were, I guess, dual depictions, but it was still fairly extreme at any rate. Everything that was depicted was fairly extreme, and just I honestly don't know. So if people react like that, I mean, never in this aspect seem to be slightly more. I think it was at least because it's been a few years now since I've watched it. I think it was still more sensible, more moderate in how. Yeah, I mean, as I said, maybe people might act so um, mindlessly, you know, bloodthirsty. So, I don't know. That could be so. Who knows? Um, so, this movie didn't really. I mean, I pretty much only knew one actor here in this movie. That I don't know how on earth he accepted this, but sure, yeah. Samuel Jackson. I've never heard of lots or anything. There's one though that I've just heard, and I just read something really bizarre. that he said, um, yeah, about 7 years prior, Johnny Messner, apparently he's called, and apparently he thinks he's the only alpha male in the industry. It's quite something, some people think. And, yeah, apparently him and the guy who just retired recently, who has Alzheimer's, Bruce Willis, yeah, Bruce Willis. So apparently he's the only one. Condolences, apparently only one still there. Remarkable. The only one, apparently, yeah. It's I don't know if he saw this last character before then, but if he knew him, I mean, yeah, I'm guessing he's the only one. Apparently, he thinks Brad Pitt or Vin Diesel aren't. Yeah, well, it's quite something, isn't it? I'm guessing he thinks Dwayne Johnson isn't either. I don't know. Some people are delusional. How he kept getting so much, acting offers after that is beyond me. Just they kept getting them. Oh, it's ridiculous. And even at the end of the same year, he got some accolade or some nonsense. I mean, why would people feed this nonsense? I don't get it. Uh, it's quite funny. It's the only piece of nonsense trivia that seemed interesting, more interesting than possibly just like okay, the plot twist, at the end there, who his supposed brother turned out to be was sort of interesting, but it was still a bit like it made no sense that he's depicted with a gun shooting at some people who came out. Because at the beginning I thought that the crash might have been intentional, and then at the end seemed to indicate that maybe it is, and that they came to shoot him, and so he shot back, presumably. But it still didn't explain it. I don't know if that is so. Didn't explain it. If so, I mean, was it part of his duties? Was his job, and so just nothing is explained. It's quite weird how when this happens. Honestly, I don't even know if his wife really died for real or not at this point. So, everything was such a lie and everything. Okay, when you establish an unreliable narrator, or protagonist in this case, then you don't know where you are, and that's the problem. It's ultimately it was a boring and awful movie.